Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your monthly tarot-scope reading. I'm Maritza of the Sibyl Heart, and just a reminder that I do these readings for entertainment purposes and personal enlightenment purposes only. Please do not use these readings to self-diagnose anything or to replace any kind of professional advice. I will say that I do touch on certain mental health aspects, and I do try to advocate to seek therapy, but sometimes I forget. So I do apologize for that. The other thing is this reading is intended for those of you who have a Sagittarius placement, whether it's the sun, moon, or rising signs, or any other placement in your natal chart that you feel is important to you. Feel free to listen. With that being said, take or leave whatever message you feel resonates with you. I want you to approach these readings as if we're already friends, and whenever you talk to your friends, you don't always listen to what they have to say, or sometimes you do heed their advice, but every decision you make is up to you. Do not make your decisions solely based on a tarot reading. Okay, so on to the reading, Sagittarius. What message do you have for Sagittarius? What message do you have for Sagittarius? We have the Seven of Wands. We have the Devil. And we have the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so you may be keeping yourself at a distance from others emotionally because you are going through a difficult time that you don't want others to know about. And because you're self-isolating, you may be struggling through certain things, such as challenges, especially. Um, the other thing I'm thinking is that there are people who are there are people around you who are very vocal about wanting to help you, but you're not letting them in because you feel like whatever it is that you're struggling with is something that you have to do on your own. And you're trying to find the balance of taking care of whatever the situation that you're struggling through and also taking care of the relationships that are important to you. But because you feel like you have to struggle through this situation alone, we're finding more and more that the people that you're keeping at a distance are not fighting you on this anymore. They did for a while, but now they are kind of throwing in the towel and saying, okay, like if this is what you feel you need to do, then fine. And now you're trying to maintain those relationships, but still keep them at a distance. And it's difficult. Okay. We have the King of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. And we have the Justice card. I feel like the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords are sort of representing these aspects of yourself that are conflicted with each other, especially because Sagittarius is a fire sign, which is represented by the King of Wands, and the Queen of Swords is an air sign, and they're kind of not exactly opposites. They're elements, well, air sign, if you think about air and fire, air kind of feeds fire. So it's not, but also if there's too much air, it can blow out the fire. And I think what's happening, or I think one way to interpret this is that you're conflicted about something that requires you to be different from who you are naturally. And it's not how do I want to word this? It's more of like you need to keep yourself at a distance because you need more. If you hear any like licking sounds, it's my cat. She's saying hello. You may hear her purring. So I'm also seeing the Justice card in this reading, and I'm thinking it's like you have to be more. Something requires you to be more logical. Not that you're illogical, but like you're struggling through something that requires you to be perhaps unemotional or without any bias, or like you can't allow your own feelings and thoughts to cloud your judgment in something. And it's something that is completely unnatural to who you are. It just feels very strange. But you're finding more and more that this is an aspect of yourself that needs to come out more. Because, well, actually I don't know the reason. The reason is going to be based on a very individual level. But you may be struggling through that sort of dynamic, and it's causing you to trigger some kind of coping mechanism. And the coping mechanism may not be very healthy, and you know this, but you don't know where else to turn because you feel like you have to keep other people at a distance. And that might be part of the coping mechanism. Okay. Let's see. Then we have the Hierophant. And for the final card, we have the Knight of Wands. So, okay. So something that I'm thinking about right now is that some of you, Sagittarius, may be deciding to go back to school, especially if it's higher education like university or a master's degree of some kind. And that might be a moment where you realize that you're not like what I'm thinking is that you may be an older person deciding to go back to school, and you're going to be surrounded by younger people, and you're not there to make friends, right? So you're going to keep people at a distance because you're there to further your career or gain the knowledge that will help you do that. But because you're naturally a people-oriented person. It feels very strange, and it's causing you to rely on coping mechanisms that are no longer working for some reason. Something about the dynamic is different. It could be that everyone else around you is much younger, and you'll be kept at a distance anyway because you're an older person, and the generational gap can be difficult. It can be a gate for some people that can't be opened for some reason. So making friends while you're in this new environment with younger people may be what is causing you to feel like you need to keep them at a distance, because it's such the generational gap is so, well, yeah, let's just say it's a tough hurdle for some to jump over. And I think what's also unnatural for you is that being able to focus solely on one thing. Like, you're there, let's say you are going to like a university. You are not, like, as I was saying before, you are not there to make friends. You are there to help yourself gain knowledge to further your career. And that itself feels very strange for you. Because you like being social, you like being in a group, you like having fun while also striving for your goal. And you're usually very good at balancing fun and work, or life and achieving your goals. But this time around, because things are so different and maybe even uncomfortable, you feel like you're struggling more than you should. Maybe one of the things you're thinking is like, it wasn't always this difficult for you. And also, the thought about even going back to school, or like going back to a previous stage in life, like you're going to struggle with feeling like you're going backwards in your life instead of progressing. But I think you have to remember that there's a necessity for you to go backwards, at least for right now, because it's a necessary step in order for you to move forward. Whatever shape that takes, that's for your life. I'm just using going back to school as an example. yeah. Let's see. In terms of astrology, we have, excuse me. Okay, thank you. We have Capricorn. So Capricorn season may be a, excuse me, my mind. Okay. Capricorn season may be an important one. We also have Taurus, which we are in now, and we have Libra. So Capricorn, Libra, Taurus may be important seasons to pay attention to, either in the past or, coming up in the future, or presently, because we are in Taurus season currently. And then we have fire signs, which is Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries, with both the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. And we have air signs with the Queen of Swords, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So those could be important people in your life. Of course, you are a Sagittarius, so that could, of course, be pertaining to you. I see Libra is an air sign, so Libra may be an important person right now. Maybe he'll provide some important advice. Or they'll become important. But don't hold on too tightly to that, because I feel like it's more about the season rather than a person. It's more about Libra season rather than a Libra person. If that makes sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, and yeah, that is it for your reading, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.